The movie opens in a port, somewhere in Asia, and we see a local seafood vendor, Papa-san, who is there to buy some fresh fish for his store. While wandering around, he hears a crying voice of a baby coming from a wooden treasure box in a fishing boat. Upon opening it, he discovers a foreign baby boy who seems to have washed ashore. "That's not treasure." The kind-hearted Papa-san decides to adopt the child and brings him home, naming him Ikki. The scene then fast forwards to 16 years later, and we see that Kiki has grown into a teenager. He now assists his father in their local seafood shop located at one of the busy streets in the Far East. Ikki, being a foreigner, is not accepted by his peers, but he doesn't care. One day, while making a delivery for his father, he comes across a crowd watching a martial arts demonstration. He also joins the crowd and is instantly captivated by a beautiful young woman, Kimi, who is exceptionally brilliant at fighting. After the demonstration, Ikki follows her to her dojo, where he witnesses several other students practicing ninja techniques, leaving him in awe. Impressed by all of this, he also decides to join them. On a ninja tryouts day, Ikki takes part in a combat audition and is tasked with throwing a ninja blade at a target. However, his lack of experience leads to a mishap, nearly causing the blade to hit Kimi. Ashamed by his actions, Ikki proceeds to leave when Master Sabu notices a peculiar birthmark on the back of his leg. Later on, Sabu goes through some ancient scrolls and is shocked to learn that the mark is related to the legend of the dancing ninja. On his way home, Ikki passes by an arcade dancing machine that captures his interest. He decides to give it a try, but struggles to synchronize with the music beats. Despite the initial challenges, Ikki finds himself drawn to the activity, and as a result, he starts spending most of his time at the arcade. Apart from this, he often shows up in the ninja training sessions, but every time he is declined by Master Sabu due to his lack of combat skills. A couple of years pass by, and Ikki masters his dance moves through dedicated practice on the arcade machines. He effortlessly performs various dance moves and perfect combos. However, he is still a newbie when it comes to ninja practice. One day, Ikki learns about a legend of a dancing ninja from somewhere and asks about it with Master Sabu. When he expresses his wish to become one, Master Sabu laughs it off. He describes that the dancing ninjas are cold and hard from outside, but the insides burn like fire. A boiling core of repressed chi ignites their abilities. In order to demonstrate a glimpse of Dancing Ninja's ability, Master Sabu uses a hip move to throw a bowl of rice towards him. He then emphasizes that Ikki shows no sign of what a dancing ninja can do. Knowing that Ikki is feeling lost about his true identity, Master Sabu tells him that self-discovery comes from the enlightenment of knowing a woman. The master further advises him to find a woman, and only then he can awaken his true potential. Later on, a saddened Ikki is wandering in the streets when he is approached by a group of bullies who instigate a fight. Ikki doesn't want to engage in any sort of conflict and opts to walk away, but they block his way and attack him. In a surprising turn of events, Ikki begins to dance, seamlessly aligning his moves with punches and kicks. This not only helps him defeat the bullies, but they are also impressed. They speculate that he is some kind of ninja and request him to teach them some moves. As a result, they all end up performing a group dance together, and none of them seem to mind that they've never known the touch of a woman. On the other hand, we are introduced to an American movie star, Ansel LaDouche, and his girlfriend Crystal, who are on their way to Sabu's dojo. It turns out Ansel is also trained by Master Sabu, but he is using his talent for his selfish motives, also making a mockery of ninja techniques in his TV shows. He is returned to obtain a valuable scroll that will grant him enough power to force the TV executives to let him host a fight channel. However, the master adamantly refuses to share any of the ancient secrets for money. This infuriates Ansel, so he ties up the master to a stretching machine and tortures him. However, Sabu's immense strength allows him to break free and engage in a duel with Ansel. When Crystal notices that her boyfriend is on the verge of losing, she throws a ninja blade at the master, causing him to be distracted. Ansel then uses this opportunity to take out his handgun and shoot the master from behind before leaving with the coveted scroll. Shortly after, Ikki arrives at the dojo, only to find the master severely injured. In his final breath, Sabu tells him about Ansel, as well as his selfish intentions. This enrages the teenager, so he decides to travel to America in order to avenge his master's death. The same evening, he packs up his belongings, bids farewell to his parents, and sets off on his journey. In the next scene, we see Master Sabu, who is now passed on to the afterlife world and is having a good time with some hot girls. Despite this pleasure, he seems worried for an immature Ikki, so he uses a technique to summon his best student Kimi in his afterlife world and instructs her to watch over the boy. In the meantime, Ansel is seen at the Fighting Channel's head office, preparing for his TV appearance. However, the channel executive, Garland Jones, doesn't seem to be interested in working with him due to rumors of Ansel going crazy. He further claims that he prefers any other host than working with him. This refusal offends the latter, to the point that he uses his ninja skills to physically assault him and ultimately coerce the executive into agreeing. After a several-hour-long journey, Ikki arrives in America and checks into a hotel owned by one of his father's friends, Mr. Paul. Starting from the very next day, he starts devising his revenge plan. As the first part of the plan, he works on tracking his target down. He eventually locates Ansel's residence and heads there without any delay. Upon arrival, he finds the entrance door locked and searches for some other way to sneak in. Kimi, who is already present there, secretly drops a rope from the roof, allowing him to climb up. But just when he reaches the top, Ansel and Crystal leave for a business party. The teenager then tails them to the venue, where he is stopped by a guard at the entrance. He requests to be let in, emphasizing his mission to avenge his master's death. However, the guard doesn't take him seriously and pushes him away, ordering him to leave. Furious, Ikki uses his ninja moves to take off the guard's pants, embarrassing him in front of all the partygoers. The commotion catches the attention of Crystal, who immediately speculates that he was sent from the dojo. She then takes out some ninja blades and hurls them at the boy, but Kimi intervenes in the nick of time and lifts up a dining table as a shield, preventing Ikki from any harm. Subsequently, more guards show up to apprehend them, so the duo teams up and showcases their exceptional dancing ninja moves to subdue all of them one after another. Following this, Ikki throws a couple of pointed chopsticks towards Ansel, but the latter is saved by his skillful girlfriend. Before the situation escalates further, Kimi takes Ikki away from the scene, asserting that it's not the right time to execute his revenge plan. In the aftermath, Crystal shares her suspicions with Ansel, suggesting that the boy is seeking revenge for his master's death. As they discuss their next steps, Crystal mentions the boy's impressive combination of dance and combat skills. This revelation sets Ansel into a panic as he recalls a horrifying incident from his childhood. He reveals to her that when he was 9 years old, his mother took him out to a fortune teller who predicted that he would one day be killed by a dancing ninja. Fearing the prophecy, he instructs his girlfriend to do whatever is necessary to eliminate the boy. Elsewhere, Ikki, accompanied by Kimi, walks back to his hotel. He invites her to stay at the same hotel, offering to arrange a separate room for her. To his surprise, Kimi suggests sharing the same room, leading Ikki to believe that she has feelings for him. Later on, she goes for a hot tub bath, while he starts turning the room into a romantic setting by lighting candles, scattering flowers on the floor, and playing soft music. When Kimi doesn't come out for a long time, he uses the plane of enlightenment technique to meet her in a meditation world. There, he discovers Kimi in a jacuzzi with a guy named Nabu, who is helping her with a massage. Upon being noticed, Nabu attacks him for spying on her, forcing him to retreat to the real world. A disheartened Ikki then cleans up all the decorations he made earlier. Moments later, Kimi walks out of the bathroom and tries to clarify the situation. However, he pretends to be fine and leaves, claiming that he must continue with his mission. In the next scene, Ikki does some research and pays a visit to Garland at his office. Upon reaching there, he mentions about their common enemy and proposes that they team up to take Ansel down. Amidst their conversation, Ikki notices some of the pictures of Garland from his past and recognizes him as his biological father. When he addresses him his dad? The shocked Garland hurriedly verifies the birthmark on his leg, ultimately confirming their relationship. The two then share an emotional hug, and Garland expresses remorse for being an irresponsible father. Following this, they discuss their lives and soon begin to strategize on how to deal with Ansel. As they make their way out of the office, they are ambushed by Crystal and her henchmen, who start beating them up. A short while later, Kimi shows up to save them, but the assailants manage to take Garland hostage. They load him into their van and declare that they'll release him only when Icky permanently returns back to his hometown. In the aftermath, Icky and Kimi return to their room and contemplate their next move. Just then, he remembers the master's words: a woman can be a key to awakening his true potential. As a result, he asks for permission to touch Kimi in order to locate his father. Despite her initial hesitance, she grants him the permission. The moment he touches her, he gets a visual of the location where his father is held captive, prompting the duo to rush towards the same. Once there, they discover Garland tied up with a time bomb, which proves impossible to defuse. Adding to the danger, Garland warns them not to speak, as any wrong word could trigger the bomb. As a result, they resort to using a notebook for communication. Garland informs them that Ansel is at his Fighting Channel premiere, where he has planted numerous bombs. He goes on to reveal that Ansel has gathered famous celebrities in his premiere, and that he is planning to explode the entire area to assassinate them all so that he can rule the industry. He urges Icky and Kimi to get there quickly and save the lives of the people. The boy tries to save his father first, but the latter asserts that it is impossible. Icky is clearly reluctant to abandon his father, but he is forced to do so, as a lot of people's lives are at stake. As they make their way out, Crystal's henchmen ambush them, ensnaring them in a rope trap. Following this, they are loaded into a truck and taken somewhere else. While en route, Kimi tells Icky to use the ninja hip move to free themselves. The boy tries moving his hip, but to no avail. After numerous failed attempts, Kimi recalls how he awakened his powers when he touched her earlier. So, she abruptly kisses him, leaving him shocked. She also confesses her hidden feelings for him, expressing that she always wanted him. The atmosphere soon takes a romantic turn, and Icky is finally able to move his boner, his hip, and get rid of the trap. After this, the pair make their way to the premiere venue, where they immediately confront Ansel, sensing the imminent threat. He tries to distract them by disclosing about the hidden bombs, but much to his surprise, Icky uses his ninja hip move to retrieve all the bombs and detonate them in the air. Shortly after, a bunch of henchmen show up at the scene to fight them, but Icky, who has now become an ultimate dancing ninja, uses a combination of moves to overpower them effortlessly. In the meantime, Ansel attempts to make his escape in his helicopter. Upon witnessing this, Icky grabs one of the remaining bombs and hurls it at the helicopter, damaging its wing. As a consequence, it crashes onto Ansel and explodes, resulting in his death. He deserved it. In the final scene, we see Icky and Kimi back in their bedroom, starting their new romantic relationship with a passionate kiss. And boy, is he gonna dance.